Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana 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 Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Idam Bhagavatam nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavam Rishi Yasya Lokasya Danyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the literally incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate goal of all people, and is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Krishna sva damopagate dharma janadibi saha kalo nashta drisham esha puranarko dunodita. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 9, Text 29. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudiraye. Nashta praeshu badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavatir naishtiki. Before of the reciting of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should offer his respectful obeisances unto Narayan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nara Narayan Rishi, supermost human being, unto the Goddess of Learning, Mother Saraswati, and unto the author, Srila Vyasadeva. By regular service rendered to Srimad Bhagavatam and the person Bhagavatam, everything that is troublesome to the heart is almost destroyed to nil. And loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised by chosen hymns, is established from within as irrevocable fact. Esha hi brahmano vidvams. Esha hi brahmano vidvams. Esha hi brahmano vidvams. Tapashila gunanvitaha. Tapashila gunanvitaha. Tapashila gunanvitaha. Hariradyaishur Brahma. Hariradyaishur Brahma. Hariradyaishur Brahma. Mahapurusha samjitam. Mahapurusha samjitam. Mahapurusha samjitam. Sarvabhutatma bhavena. Sarvabhutatma bhavena. Sarvabhutatma bhavena. Bhuteshu antarhitam gunai. Bhuteshantarhitam gunai. bhuteshantarhitam gunai esha hi brahmano vidvam tapashila gunanvitaha harirajishur brahma mahapurusha samjitam sarvabhutatma bhavena bhuteshu antarhitam gunai esha hi brahmano vidvam tapashila gunanvitaha hariryadishur brahma mahapurusha samjita sarvabhutatma bhavena bhuteshu antarhitam gunai esha hi brahmano vidvam tapasila gunanvitaha hariryadishur brahma mahapurusha samjitam sarvabhutatma bhavena bhuteshantarhitam gunai. Tatma bhavena ladies. Word by word. Esha, this, he, indeed, brahmanaha, qualified brahmanas, vidvan, learned in Vedic knowledge, tapaḥ, austerity, shila, good behavior, guna-anvitaha, endowed with all good qualities, aradhaishu, desiring to be engaged in worshipping, Brahma, the Supreme Brahman, Mahapurusha, the Supreme Person, Kṛṣṇa, Samjita, known as Sarvabhuta, of all living entities, Atma Bhavena, as the Supersoul, Bhuteshu, in every living entity. Antarhitam, within the core of the heart. Gunaihi, by qualities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Here is a learned, highly qualified brahmana, engaged in performing austerity and eagerly desiring to worship the Supreme Lord, the Supersoul who lives within the core of the heart in all living entities. Please repeat. He is a learned, highly qualified brahmana, engaged in performing austerity and eagerly desiring to worship the Supreme Lord, the Supersoul who lives within the core of the heart in all living entities. Purport. The wife of a brahmana did not regard her husband as superficial brahmana, who was called a brahmana merely because he was born of a brahmana family. Rather, this brahmana was actually qualified with the brahminical symptoms. Yasya lakṣaṇaṁ proktam. Bhagavatam 7:11-35. The symptoms of a brahmana are stated in the śāstra. Śamo, damas, tapaḥ, śaucaṁ, kṣāntir, ārjavam evacha, jñānaṁ, vijñānam, āstikyaṁ, brahma-karma, svabhāvajam. Quote, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the brahmanas work. This is from Bhagavad Gita 18:42. Not only must the brahmana be qualified, but he must also engage in actual brahminical activities. Simply to be qualified is not enough. One must engage in a brahmana's duties. The duty of a brahmana is to know the paraṁ Brahma. Kṛṣṇa. Paraṁ Brahma, paraṁ dhāma, pavitraṁ, paramam bhavam. Because this brahmana was actually qualified and was also engaged in brahminical activities, brahma-karma, killing him would be a greatly sinful act. And the brahmana's wife requested that he not be killed. Esha hi brahmanam vindvam tapashika tapashila gunanvitaha arirajishur brahma mahapurusha samjitam sarva bhutatma bhavena bhuteshu antarhitam gunai. Here is a learned, highly qualified brahmana, engaged in performing austerity and eagerly desiring to worship the Supreme Lord, the Supersoul who lives within the core of the heart in all living entities. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. We're dancing this last kirtan in front of Panchatattva, so I'm all sweaty, thirsty. Please forgive me. Chandramali Maharaj made an offer that I couldn't refuse with his danda. Get in. Hare Krishna. So, before I say anything, I want to cover the formalities. Actually, more than formalities. I ask all of you, wonderful devotees, especially the senior Vaishnavas, that you kindly bestow your blessings, because by that and by your desire, I can say something that will be beneficial for my own purification. Because your hearing process can be like inspiration of the painter who holds a brush to paint. So I pray to be a brush in the hands of your hearing process, or chisel in the hands of your sculpting hearing process. Is that Anuttama Prabhu? Hare Krishna. So in this verse, the wife continues to plead for life of her husband. But we see as the story unfolds, unlike in some other cases, like in the case of Nagapatnis, who also prayed for the life of their husband, Kaliya, who was spared by most merciful Lord Sri Krishna, who danced on the hoods of Kaliya. In this case, it didn't work. It happened that the king was ultimately devoured by her husband, the brahmana, was devoured by the king, who, as the story tells before, has developed these rakshasa inclinations. And of course, if you unfold the story a little bit further back, and there was, I think, right before Kartik, or a little bit in Kartik month, remember the story of Durvasa Muni and King Ambarish. Similar situation. A lot of conflict, a lot of misunderstanding, and a lot of anger and emotional turbulence that was exhibited. But unlike in the case of Durvasa Muni, Ambarish Maharaj, when Ambarish Maharaj just accepted the hand of providence, not retaliating, king in this case attempted to retaliate, to unjust curse from the side of Vasishtha Muni, the spiritual master. And that was already mentioned, the whole plot of Vasishtha cursing because he detected some improper items in a dinner. Prepared by agent who also wanted to retaliate. So it's like one thing after another, it led to another. It's like a real mess. Simply because people couldn't break the cycle, this vicious cycle of, king goes to a forest, kills a Rakshasa. Rakshasa has a brother. He shows compassion to a Rakshasa brother, brings him in, but because the Rakshasa brother couldn't forgive, it couldn't respond with the mercy that he was shown mercy by the king, but he chose to retaliate. That led to a whole another mess with Vasishtha and the king. And it didn't stop there. So when Rakshasa came and sneaked in the kingdom to be a cook to a king, he acted on a very evil plot by preparing a meat for a guest of honor. Vasishtha Muni, the spiritual master of the king. And then that led to a curse. Vasishtha, not knowing actually what happened, later also regretted and performed austerities for 12 years. But the curse was already released. So, because the king, after being cursed, also wanted to counteract the curse. And as mentioned yesterday, he already held the water in his hand. And the mantras were released, but not, as soon as the mantras were released, he was stopped by his wife. Please don't do that. The wife who had the wisdom to perceive that, too bad doesn't make a good, or to see that the anger and retaliation doesn't really bring, it might bring justice, but ultimately it doesn't pleases Krishna, as we see in the case of Durvasa Muni and King Ambarish, who actually chose a different path, the path that is less transpassed. So as devotees, these are the great lessons. We have to see that how we also in our own dealings are challenged and tested so many times on a daily basis. Krishna sends tests on a regular basis. And those tests are actually exhibited in a realm, in a domain of relationships. To remember that anger, both actually anger and greed, are just the siblings of this very intense and uncontrollable desire, kama. You know the krama, the whole sequence from Bhagavad Gita. Contemplation that brings to the attachment to the object. And uncontrolled attachment brings to that uncontrollable desire, or generates, it grows into this uncontrollable desire, kama, and there's no going back. But it brings to that point of kama, krodha. Actually, in a case of lust or desire not being fulfilled, it brings anger. But even if desire, in the case of kama, even if desire is fulfilled, it is not satiated. It doesn't satisfy. It rather brings a greater predicament, or greed, lobha. So in a case, it's like a lose-lose situation. You don't satisfy it, you become angry. You satisfied, you become more greedy or in want for more. I just saw a T-shirt. We were in Jagannath Puri. I just saw a T-shirt of one of the pilgrims. It says, "All you need is less." There was some other ones. Fight your own ego, I'm busy. I saw another one. Fight your own ego, I'm busy. So the ego crisis, in all these cases, we see that's an ego crisis. In the case of Durvasa Muni, in the case of the king, what is the name of the king? Sodasa, right? What was the name of the king? Sodasa. Also in the case of Vasishta, we see so many munis, they have quite a short fuse, and they're temperamental. As they say in Texas, they are very quick on a draw. They're very quick on a draw. So that is reactionary behavior, not be able to think and ultimately to reflect on an element of compassion that it's very essential. This verse explains the qualities of a brahmana. Brahmana, not only who knows how to act, not only who has the knowledge, but also knows how to act properly. A person who walks his talk, who teaches by example, not a superficial brahmana, who is called brahmana merely by because he was born of a brahmana family. That we see is clarified in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. This chaturvarnyam maya shishtam guna karma vibhagasha is by quality and by activity. Krishna does not say janma vibhagasha or just janma vibhagasha, just by birth. It's by guna and by karma. You might go to a dentist or to a doctor, and just an example, and he might tell you that he's coming from very highly accomplished dental family, but he has no education, no quality, and he has no knowledge, no experience of a dental work. Would you sit on that chair? Prabhuji? Nobody with a little bit of brain would actually do that. Because, so if that is so for the, such a material profession, being a dentist or a doctor, so what to speak in spiritual science? One might have knowledge, but unless it's realized and digested as vijñānam by acting properly, then we won't act, it won't actually work. So a prime example we have is of our founder Srila Prabhupada, who says in an introduction of foreword that there are so many Bhagavad Gitas printed in the West. But this Bhagavad Gita as it is making so many devotees all around the world. And as we see here in our headquarters, Sridham Mayapur, devotees from all over the world coming, and increasingly, in increasing numbers. We had 50th anniversary of our movement a few years ago. Now in 2022 we'll have also 50th anniversary of Sridham Mayapur, I believe, when land was purchased, right? 72. And Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj came in to Prabhupada and said, the land is yours. It's overlapping. Yesterday actually they gave us I went for a tour, a TOVP tour. It's very nice. If you go up on the ramp and take you up on the ramp, you'll see that bridge between the long building and the TOVP. It's actually it will be called Prabhupada Bridge. So making an architectural statement that we cannot go to Krishna directly, but we go through his representative, spiritual master. So it's Srila Prabhupada's bridge, making that nice statement. And I saw so many beautiful things that are inside coming up and shaping up. But the point is that Srila Prabhupada is that prime example of that. He walked his talk, and that he never asked somebody something that he wouldn't do. As a matter of fact, early on in the movement in New York, he would do everything himself. He would cook, he would distribute prasadam, he would even clean after the feast. In the beginning, actually, he would cut the apples and he would give apples. But later on, it expanded into more elaborate preparations that he also taught his devotees. And then one day, I think it was Brahmananda Prabhu who came and asked Swamiji, "Can I help?" Prabhupada was washing dishes, and he said, "Can I help?" And Prabhupada looked and said, "Oh, I was waiting that somebody would ask." So, setting that example, and therefore he was effective. He was effective in so many ways, and still is. In West, coming back to India, he was effective. Fighting this underlying current upon his arrival back to India, that how can you give Brahman initiation to these Westerners? And then Prabhupada fighting as expert attorney, quoting śāstra, that it is by guna and karma, it is not by birth. Pleading for us, presenting our case. So this is a very important items in our whole brahminical culture. We see examples here of qualities: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the brahmana work. Now, we do have a cross-reference here, 7:11:35. Anybody can pull that up, because I don't have a book here on 7. Can anybody pull that on their phone? 7:11:35. Let's see who can be faster. We can compete. You have it? Great. We're competing without any fruity mentality, just for fun. If one shows the symptoms of being a brahmana, kshatriya, I think it's nice because it does come in the purport, so it's nice to, I like to always read what Prabhupada puts there, because he puts it there for a reason, so it's good to go over it. If one shows the symptoms of being a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, or shudra, as described above, even he has appeared in different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classifications. So this is like a cross-reference to that verse from Bhagavad Gita. Herein it is clearly stated by Narada Muni that one should not be accepted as a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, or shudra according to birth, for although this is going on, it is not accepted by the śāstra. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, another cross-reference, 4:13, that is, Chaturvaryam maya shishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. Thus, the 4 divisions of society, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, and shudra, are to be ascertained according to the qualities and activities. If one was born in a brahmana family and has acquired the brahminical qualifications, he is to be accepted as a brahmana. Otherwise, he should be considered brahma-bandhu. Similarly, if a shudra born in a shudra family, he is not a shudra. Similarly, if a shudra acquires the qualities of a brahmana, although he was born in a shudra family, he is not a shudra, because he has developed the qualities of a brahmana. He should be accepted as a brahmana. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to develop these brahminical qualities. So what is the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement? To create the society of brahmanas, to develop and introduce to the world the brahminical culture. Regardless of the community in which one is born, or one was born, If one develops the qualities of a brahmana, he should be accepted as a brahmana, and he then may be offered the order of sannyas. Unless one is qualified in terms of brahminical symptoms, one cannot take sannyas. In designating a person, a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, or shudra, birth is not essential symptom. This understanding is very important. Herein, Narada Muni distinctly says that one may be accepted according to the caste of his birth if he has corresponding qualifications, but otherwise he should not. One who has attained the qualifications of a brahmana, regardless of where he was born, should be accepted as a brahmana. Similarly, if one has developed the qualities of a shudra or a chandala, regardless of where he was born, he should be accepted in terms of those symptoms. So, we hear in Kali Yuga, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. It started way back in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. And again, King Parikshit, for whatever reason, I guess this was Krishna's Yoga Maya, Lila Shakti, covered Parikshit Maharaj, and in his wandering to exercise his prowess by hunting, he was thirsty, as you know the story. And then in an ashram of Shaunaka Rishi is garlanding with a snake. That's another, this is a fall down of brahminical society or brahminical culture. When Brahmana's son, I believe his name was Shringi, cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die in 7 days because of his act. And there you have it. That's what it took to kind of trigger that first domino to just put the whole society in a predicament, losing that brahminical culture. Somewhere in I believe it's Garuda Purana, a very important quality, brahminical quality, is discussed there, and that is the quality of forgiveness. Unlike Kripana, so there's two sides of a spectrum. There's a brahmana and then the kripana. A brahmana is the one who is very generous, very broad-minded, right? Kripana is a miser. He's very narrow-minded, and he's stingy. Kripana. He doesn't think about future. Brahmana, he thinks, not only thinks, but he invests into the future. Kripana is like, people of a fast food in the West. There's a commercial. I want it now. I want it fast. Immediate sense gratification. This is their goal. There's nothing else. Eat, drink, and be merry. Don't think about consequences. And there's a whole philosophy to support that. The life comes from matter, right? No consequences, no responsibility. Very nice. You can do whatever you want. Don't think about future. Remaining in darkness, right? But ignorance is not bliss. And suffering is there. The purpose of suffering actually is happiness. Because you suffer because something is telling you that something is wrong, right? So something is telling you that something is wrong. So ultimately, the purpose of suffering is happiness. But unless you question and unless you are willing to correct your ways, then your trajectory remains the same. That's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, but yet people are expecting different results. So kripanas are like that, miserly. And they hold grudge. They can't forgive. Holding grudges, that's one of the, you can say, qualities of a kripana, a miserly person. Not being able to let go. So this is our program. Program of our Vaishnavas, of our devotees, is to let go and hang on. Don't be just like a sunshine devotee. That when everything is nice, everything is fine, then I'll do my thing. Some challenge, some test, some some resistance that comes to our path, immediately we give up. We think, oh, this Krishna consciousness is not working, and we give up the process. So this is not good. We should not be like a sunshine devotee. But develop that quality, a very, very nice quality of brahminical quality of forgiveness. So somewhere in Garuda Purana, I believe, this is described that austerities, charity, study of the Vedas and yagyas, they all performed both by asuras and devas. They all, ungodly people also, they quote śāstra. They can, and they do quote śāstra. They perform yagyas, give charities. They perform austerities. We see prime example of Prahlad's father. But there's 4 qualities that are only performed by devas, those who are devotees, brahmanas, Vaishnavas. And one of those is forgiveness. They're able to forgive because they are broad-minded, they're very generous. They're also tolerant, they're pure. And they're also patient. They have the quality of patience. They don't lose cool. They patiently wait for the mercy of Krishna. They might never come, like in the case of Sanatana Goswami. He was waiting for Lord Chaitanya. In Vrindavan, but Lord Chaitanya never came. The room was ready, but Lord Chaitanya never came. But he was patiently waited for that mercy in a mood of separation. Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shijiva Gopalako. Running after Krishna, looking, where is Krishna? Not that we have Krishna, but we're looking in that mood of separation, as presented by our acharyas, patiently waiting for the mercy. Like that chataka bird. There's a bird, I believe it's called chataka, please correct me. A type of a bird that only sustains itself from the water, from the rain cloud. It will not, however thirsty it is, it will not go down and compromise on any water that has touched the ground, but is waiting. And sometimes when the rain cloud comes, there's a thunder that the bird gets struck by, but it doesn't mind. It doesn't mind. As exhibited by Lord Chaitanya, this is unmotivated, unalloyed, example of unmotivated, unalloyed devotional service. That you can break my heart by not being present before me, you can embrace me, you can do whatever you want. But you are my most worshipful Lord. And Prabhupada talked about it. Do you remember the concept of pure devotee in Prabhupada's books? Pure devotee. He says it many times. Pure devotee, pure devotee. So many times, pure devotee. He talks about it. And we think, well, that's for some special, it's not for me. We shy away from the golden opportunity to purify our existence, which is the purpose of human form. This human form was glorified yesterday. It's the very vessel or the window opportunity by which we cross the ocean of nations. So don't trust the future, no matter how bright it is. It's here and now. We have this opportunity now. And as humans, we are known as dvijas, like birds. Birds are also dvijas. They have 2 birds. One is from the egg. The egg gives the birth to a bird. And then, after a while, after it's fed, and it develops some strength, then it's airborne from the nest. Starts flying, right? So humans like that, they also have 2 birds. One is biological from our father and from our parents, father and the mother, and then the other one, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Kripaya Paya Bhaktilata Bij. We receive the seed of devotion from our spiritual master after so many lifetimes of wandering throughout the whole creation. We get this opportunity to connect with the spiritual master who plants the seed, the bija of bhakti, of devotion in our heart. And we also become airborne to practice, to learn about and to practice all of these qualities of peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. So practice makes perfect. It's a work in progress, but stay on that trajectory of progressive path of back home, back to Godhead. We have no luxury of being despondent in any way, and we have all the responsibility to encourage each other on this path and of practice of pure devotional service. It's a practice, and it brings results. So, like I said, in our practice of pure devotional service, this quality of forgiveness that has been obviously missing here, because this is what's creating all this stickiness and mess, and all the parties are getting involved, is that they couldn't let go and hold on to what really matters, and that we are part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa, full of knowledge, bliss, and cognizant. Eternal bliss and cognizance or knowledge. A nice example of this, of course there's many examples of forgiveness. I mentioned Ambarish Maharaj. But when I lived in Giranarya, there was one example of the Amish family. There was a shooting in their school. And it's an extreme radical example, but illustrates this importance of this quality that is there and has to be meditated upon and put in practice. So after some children were actually killed by some crazy person, that Amish family actually was praying and sending help to the family of the shooter. And I always thought it was, so they didn't condemn, they didn't retaliate. Not only they didn't condemn and retaliate, but actually they prayed and they were sending help, some practical help to the family of obviously troubled person. And in that way, we attract Krishna's mercy. In that way, we attract Krishna's mercy in a more rapid way, which propels us forward on this path. Because when you give mercy, you get mercy. It's simple as that. You give mercy, you get mercy. Okay, the time is coming up. So, of course, it's a big topic. I could go on more, but time is short. If there's any comments or questions, real quick. Oh yes, sorry, I didn't see the hand. Somebody pass the mic, please. Some younger person.
Prabhu, I'm just wondering, does one has to practice to develop these qualities consciously, or as the heart gets purified, these qualities manifest? How does it work?
Can you repeat the question?
That do we have to consciously practice to develop these qualities, or as our heart gets purified, these qualities get manifested naturally? How does it work?
Well, it's both. We have to consciously practice to purify our heart. We have to apply ourselves. Cheto darpanam ārjavam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam. by rendering this Yuga Dharma of Harinam Sankirtan, the heart is purified. But as heart is purified, impurities will come on surface. It's called anartha nivritti. So the question is, when that comes up, what do you do with it? Do you back off and say, well, this is too much, I got to slow down, which it's normal. You know, it's normal to slow down if it is too intense for you to continue. But with Guru and Krishna's mercy, we can. There's no obstacle we cannot surpass. So as we apply ourselves, impurities will come, and we purify our hearts as we pass the test, or we overcome those. And then the natural qualities of the soul will shine through. So I would say it's both, to answer your question in a short way. But I don't know if that helps. We have to apply ourselves. It's not like automatic. Just by staying in a process will benefit. But we are the one who are deciding of how expedient this process will go. That's why different devotees are on different levels. Well, Prabhupada urges this life, make it this lifetime. Important things should never wait. So atato brahma jigyasa. There's two meanings. Now that you have a human birth, you should inquire about absolute, or now that you have time, you should do that. Most important business. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Like I said, trust no future, no matter how bright it is. And it happens all the time. We see danger at every step. We should not wait. This most important business should not be we should not wait. Is that okay? Anything else? All right, I thank you very much. Unfortunately, some devotees have left. I should have said that before they left, but you are here, so please, you be the representative. Bestow your additional blessing that we might leave, because we're leaving at 2 p.m. with a heavy heart. We have to leave Shridham Mayapur just to go back to our services. So I beg you all that you might bless me that we can live in this Mayapur consciousness and be as effective as possible. So when we come back, we can bring some good news again. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.